Like, anyway, mornings, blah. But somebody's got to do them, right? Somebody's got to get up in the morning. Anyway, welcome back to Bedhead Breakthroughs. I'm Debbie Burns. I teach soul magic to unicorns, leading you back to radical self-love for your most authentic expression, as well as immense creation power. So we're back in this series of Q&As that people have been asking me. Yesterday we talked about like what it's like for me to read someone's aura. Today I'm going to be sharing with you about the difference I feel in specifically the soul skins. But let's just do a quick recap to make sure that this is super clear. So I'm reading aura. Aura is an energy system connected to your heart chakra. It is your creation zone. It is where everything connected to yourself, relationships, creation, business, all of it is connected into your aura. And inside of this energy system that I am particularly reading, there are 7 layers. They start right out here, right about your skin level, just a couple inches off of that. And they move out 7 layers to the edge of your fingertips. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at in aura. And the one closest to you is called your soul skin. And this never changes, the essence in this layer. Now, each layer, so we have 7 layers, each layer has a different role and function in how it impacts your creation. Okay. Each one has a different role and function on how it impacts you. And the one that's closest to you, I'm sorry, the one that's closest to you, your soul skin, this has the base coding, what I call your soul DNA, about who you are, how you show up in the world, what motivates you, what drives you, what gets you up, what can set you, like, what's a booby trap that can take you out, like, what's shadow, what's aligned. It's like, it is all of that. And it is breathtaking. It is amazing. Now, when I'm reading your aura, I'm looking at all those layers. I'm looking at what's going on in those layers, but you don't need to know that. So I don't want to confuse you with like 7 different layers. Oh my gosh, so much information, Deb. I just want to talk about your soul skin, because in each of those layers is a flavor, or what I call an essence. Okay. There's an essence in each of those layers. And I mentioned that those reflect the colors and qualities of the chakras, but they are not one for one. So you have 7 layers, and in each layer, there should be a different flavor or essence. Okay. And all of those together create a beautiful, healthy, shining aura. And so, coming down to your soul skin, what I'm looking for in your soul skin is, what is the essence? What is the auric essence that is there for you? Remember, you brought it with you. You will carry it through this life. You'll take it with you wherever you go next. Okay. So the essences, there are 7 of them. I'm only going to talk about 6 of them, because when I get to the 7th, everybody's like, oh, that one's me. It's not you. Okay. The seventh one is just very rare. It's very rare on this planet. So we're just not going to get into it. So, looking at the other ones, sorry if you hear my dog barking in the background. He's decided it's time to play. And if you don't, cool. So, getting into the 6 essences that I find in most cases on this planet. Don't worry, if you ever show up and you have that 7th one, I'll tell you. So, the first one is autonomy. I call you autonomy. You would have a red soul skin. This is actually the color that your soul skin would glow if this is you. Okay. So, this to me, now I'm going to talk about how I tell the difference real quick. Autonomy. The name is autonomy. You're driven by autonomy and connection. And maybe at another point, I'll go deep into each of the essences, more of their qualities and characteristics, because each one could have their little conversation. If you want to know about that, you just let me know. Let me know you want to know about that. So, how do I tell the difference between all of these? So, there's the red soul skin, which is autonomy. And to me, you guys feel there's a power to you. Now, every essence is powerful. Every essence has its superpowers and its shadow behaviors. Okay. Every essence. But red has this deep kind of, you guys remind me of mountains, of places where like someone could back their back up to, and they would be protected from anything that's coming at them. So you feel very, very earthy to me. You feel powerful to me. You feel solid, like just like rock and mountainous. Okay. The next essence that could possibly be in your soul skin is creation. And this one is orange. So for my oranges out there, what you feel like to me, you feel expansive. You feel yummy. you I'm like, when I'm and just so you know, as I go into each of these, not only does each essence have a feeling to it, but you as an individual, you have a unique feeling to your essence. So not all oranges feel the same, not all reds feel the same. You feel similar, but even in your similarity, there are differences. So, how one person is an autonomy is different than another person who is an autonomy. So, just know that even though you guys all that we share these seven essences, it doesn't mean that we're exactly the same. We're not. Okay. Okay. So, getting back into creation. So, creation is my soul skin, and this one just feels alive, and it feels like to me it feels like creation. I know that sounds weird, but maybe it feels like paint against the canvas, or it feels like galaxies being born. Like there's a tangibility and a mobility to it where I can feel like creation coming into existence. That's what that feels like to me. Now, the next essence. Thanks for those that are joining. Hello, good morning. The next essence after creation is courage. That's what I call you, as courage, because simply by showing up in the world as who you are, you give people courage. So don't think that you have to be a total badass running into fires to be an essence of courage. That's not real. Like, you just being you gives courage to other people. So the essence of courage, you're yellow. That's the color that your soul skin glows, is yellow. And you guys feel super spacious. In the beginning, identifying an essence of courage used to be the hardest thing for me. Hardest. Because when I go to feel for you, like, your energy is so spread out. Think about like a gaseous cloud where the particles are constantly moving and they're separate. I would be feeling or seeing through your energy. And so in the beginning, the absence of energy would tell me, oh, I'm with a yellow, because I needed to take a step back to see all of this movement. But you feel bright, you feel hopeful. There's just a deliciousness. Oh my gosh, yellow babies. I have to be so careful because babies with yellow soul skins feel so yummy. Like, yellows, you are yummy, 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 yummy. So now I know you by your light, by your openness, by your and this is all in your soul skin. So just know, you may not feel like this on the outside. Okay. You might be like, no, I'm all seriousness and all of this. But me feeling into your essence, these are the things that I'm seeing, like, down deep inside of you, is that hope, that light, that brilliance, that shininess. Oh my gosh, you're so yummy. Okay. So those are my yellows. Moving up, the next essence that I would talk about is harmony. Okay. So harmony, you're green. So for my greens out there on the planet, oh man, you feel like a cabin in the woods, and a blanket has been put on my shoulders, and I'm sitting by the fire with a cup of tea. That's what you feel like. You feel very peaceful. Again, you may not feel like that on the outside, but on the inside, it feels like peace. It feels like comfort. It feels like home. Okay. And every harmony can have a different kind of flavor on that. But that's how I tell my essences of harmony. Okay. My little harmonies, I love you. My next essence is the essence of expression. Expression. These are blue soul skins. Okay. If you have blue at your core, and blue, you guys feel powerful, but in a different way from red. So when I say powerful, maybe what I mean is like, there is an outward push and there is an inward push. So reds, like, their energy feels like a freight train moving forward. Oranges, I love orange. Oranges feel like paint and water being spread everywhere. You just kind of feel like it's just like this, like, horizontal bomb that goes off. Yellows have an energy that really go up and out. You guys are like a fountain. Greens are very peaceful and still, very calming here, like in the center. Like I said, you're in that like cabin in the woods. So blues, when I talk about powerful, again, that's another kind of external moving energy. And you guys feel like a bass. If I were to give you, instead of a freight train like a red, you feel like a bass, that whoa, like a subwoofer that kind of like vibrates inside of me. You also feel what I would call clear and crisp, kind of like ozone a little bit, like high up in the mountains, like clear days, super crisp, just yummy. That is what you feel like to me. And then moving into our essence of pattern, you are purple. So these are for my purple soul skins. There is a stillness and a structure to pattern that is very, very clear to me. And that's probably because I'm married to a pattern. So my husband, he's an essence of pattern. He's a purple. And that means that or his feelings. So I'm very used to feeling my purples around me. You almost feel like there is a stillness to you that you could equate to like a glacier lake, but what you almost feel like to me, there's a slickness, like a marble or a granite feeling where I know that we are in like it's like I want to put my shoulders back and my spine aligned because there's just so much power and structure here. There's an authority to the purple that carries through, and the energy itself is a very inward energy. So there's a depth to purple, but it doesn't sit outside of them. It's not a freight train, it's not a base, it's inside of them and it's deep. It's like this cord that would go almost all the way down into the earth and just sit rock solid. So that's how these are all based on questions y'all are asking me. Like, Deb, how do you know the difference between the essences? What does it feel like? What do I feel like to you? These are the things that you guys feel like to me. So those are the 6. There's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Okay, those are the 6 that most people are. There's also white, and I'll go here. Like, I'm not going to tell you the 7th. I'll go there. The 7th is divinity. It's white, and it just feels so freaking pure. Like, I almost don't have words to describe. I've only bumped into 2 in my whole life. Only one had that essence in their soul skin. The other one had that essence in their habit field. We'll talk about those things another time if you're interested. But it just feels so ridiculously pure, and not baby pure, because babies come in all of the different colors. There's just a singular purity to that. That's the best way I can describe it. It just almost untouchable is what I would say. Like, I have to be I am very careful around essence of divinity because I'm like, "Oh, that's so pure." Like freshly fallen snow in the mountains pure, where you're like, "Oh, I don't wanna touch this because it's so gorgeous and it's so pristine." Anyway, that's how I feel. Yay! I love it. I love it. I'm seeing some people who already know who they are because 'cause they've done work with me. Yes, I see courages, I see autonomies. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. But that's how I tell the difference. That's how I tell the difference between the essences. And like I said, we will all have all of those essences somewhere in our aura. Let me just be very clear on that. So it's not like if you're in autonomy at your core, you're missing out on courage or you're missing out on pattern. It's just where that essence sits for you and what role, the power of the role that it plays or the power of the impact of that role. And the one that is the most important for you to understand is your soul skin. That one is the most important because it is what flavor every other layer in your aura should support your soul skin. And guys, when we understand this, when we use this both for ourselves and others, it changes the game. Imagine everybody in the world being met not by the label that society has given them, not by the behaviors that they've learned to cope with because they've been taught that who they are isn't enough, but imagine meeting every single person at their core level and being able to go, I see you. I can speak with you. I can interact with you in a way that you need me to, a way that honors my essence and a way that honors your essence. We move past the bullshit. We move past the bullshit. I'll share one story and then I'm done. I swear. I was speaking with a gentleman. We're working with a gentleman who was over like a troubled teens home. Okay. And they had multiple teenagers. He had learned about all this stuff. He had been using it in his family with his kids and he started bringing it to the workplace, meaning maybe he wasn't training people on it, but he was watching the different teenagers that they were helping and he was addressing them by what they needed. Well, it came down to this one kid that he just couldn't get through. He just couldn't get through. He just couldn't get through. So he comes to me and he's like, here's what's showing up. What's going on? I think he's a yellow. Is he a yellow? And how can we help him? And he was a yellow. He was a yellow, which meant a lot of the rules that they were trying to put in place and the way that they were trying to put the rules in place, because we got to have rules, especially in a home with troubled teenagers. There's got to be rules. There's got to be boundaries. But the ways in which that most of the staff were approaching this young man were being done in a very red fashion. Just a very like, this is how it is. This is how it is. Like, just very pushy, very aggressive, very like, I'm just going to essentially like pin you down, hold you down. As a yellow, that's not going to work, team. That is not going to work. He's going to say, fuck that shit every single time. And so what we did is we looked at who he was and what he needed as an essence of courage and came up with a game plan by which they could start addressing some of the behavioral issues and the concerns to help him and others be safe in that home. And he had a breakthrough with this youth. He had a breakthrough with this youth because it changes the game when we can meet people where they are instead of trying to force our structure or our expectations on them. It changes everything. So that's the power of the essences. That's how I tell the difference between the essences. It's actually quite fun when we get past all of the BS swimming in your aura and I can just like kick back and float in the essence of who you are at your soul level. Man, if you only knew how incredible, how powerful, how beautiful and stunning you were, dude, mental gremlins couldn't keep a hold on you. Doubt, fear, all those things would slip away. And I get to live in that for a moment. I get to live in that with you, for you. So for those who have done the work with me, thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for taking that journey with me. Thank you for trusting your soul and for saying yes to who you are. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. All right. That's my spiel for today. What's today? Thursday. We won't be back till next Tuesday or next Monday. So come back next Monday. We'll answer more questions. And if you have questions, feel free, drop them in the comments. On Instagram, it's kind of weird. I'm learning on Instagram Live that it deletes any of my comments. I don't see any questions here. In all my other places, it'll save the comments. So drop your comments or your questions, and I'll make sure I come back and answer those. So thanks for being with me today. Those that were here, I appreciate you. If you're catching this on the replay, I appreciate you too. Have a beautiful rest of your day, an incredible weekend, and I'll see you next Monday morning for Bedhead and Breakthrough.